unfunnable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper!
Price go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just worked.
Multiple income streams and real yield.
Ooh, yeah!
Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T-minus 3, 2, 1.
Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is unfunnable.
Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited.
Oh, hell yeah.
Give my creation. Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Gotta do a huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. This is our live stream. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We're trying a brand new format now, upping our game, streaming both to YouTube and to Twitter or X. So we're moving away from the Telegram streams, and we're moving into this. We'll have a lot more abilities to invite guests and obviously boost the engagement as well. So please make sure you're sharing this out everywhere, again, on all socials and especially Twitter. We've seen a lot of great engagement on X. And that being said, I want to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, what do you think of this new format?
I love it. And you know what? That theme song, it never fails to get me real jacked up.
I know, totally. Shout out to Cool Sheet. We have our techno intro, but we'll mix it up. We have that's our specific fusion intro. We have our metal. We hit all genres. We have techno, metal, new age. We're catering to everybody's taste. So, but yeah, the cool part of StreamYard is we can do different intro videos and really consolidate our efforts into one thing. And I think we have the audio issues figured out. So we started this on Universe Madness on Thursday, and we had some really crazy technical difficulties. So thank you all for sticking through it with us. And now I think we are good to go. So yeah, also please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, not only on YouTube, but on X as well. We have a bunch of comments already. So shout out to all of you. I'll throw some up here. But LA, before we get started, any updates? Anything you want to add before we jump in?
Now our thing that we're gonna say is remember to like, comment, subscribe, and retweet.
I love it. Yes, 100%. So again, trying to get the engagement as high as possible. So all right, awesome. So
One thing I will say to start off the stream is it's been fantastic to see the market on a little rampage today.
Yeah, no doubt. That is definitely where we're going to kick things off. It's been awesome. I mean, I think what we saw Bitcoin make like a 6% move today, which was just insane. I mean, again, in the real bull run, which we're starting to experience, that is a common occurrence. 5 to 10% moves on blue chips is just a thing of beauty. And so obviously ETH responded as well. We see literally everything up today for the most part. EMP's up, eShares up. The ecosystem is looking good, and we'll talk about our fusion sacrifices as well because that also had a great uptick. Over the last few days too, and we are officially over 26 million EMP sacrifice. So we'll talk all about that for sure. And we have some alpha at the very end on a new analytic tool that is part of the efforts of our community. So really exciting stuff. But to kick things off, LA, I'm actually going to throw it over to you because we have some updates with DexSwap.
Yes. So today, officially, we've begun the transition of our socials for our new consolidated brand, DexSwap. So you will have noticed on the SparkSwap Twitter, the SparkSwap Telegram, and the L1 Dex Discord, I've put up announcements today letting everyone know that those three groups slash socials will be transitioning into our new DexSwap socials. So we went ahead and took our groups with the biggest followings slash most engagement, and we're transitioning those accounts to the DexSwap brand starting tomorrow, and we'll be retiring the other accounts so that we have one consolidated effort on all of our socials and in all of our groups. So I gave everyone a heads up today. We have already claimed all of the usernames and invite links a couple weeks ago. But tomorrow I'll be switching over the official branding and putting up announcements on all of the quote unquote new accounts, but there are old accounts that are being transitioned over to the DexSwap brand. Rest assured, any and all of your questions will be answered, and all of your positions will be really carefully migrated when the time comes. This first step is just one step closer to the official DexSwap launch, which won't be far off.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. Again, this is a multi-step process, and we have said in past AMAs that we will be having a DexSwap token as well. However, again, we probably won't have that on day one because the way the token works for the actual exchange is very different in the fact that it's non-inflationary and really represents ownership within the protocol. So we're gonna get the Dex up and running. We're gonna get everything established, and then we will be crediting and migrating tokens from Cedo and Spark, so that you again are getting credit. Nobody's being left behind. Just understand that it is a multi-step process, and the actual token distribution will happen after the BSC side is live. The whole idea is that we just want to get the MVP up for BSC, and that we can start having our own EMP and eShare liquidity on DexSwap because there is a lot of benefits in that. We are able to control the predatory bots. We're able to get a lot of transaction fees that help the protocol and stay in the ecosystem rather than going to PancakeSwap. There's a lot of really good bonuses in that. So, and that migration, again, will have another form of instructions for all of you. Basically, you just have to unpair your current LP and repair your LP on DexSwap. So, super simple, super easy, and we'll go through all that with all of you. So, all right, awesome. I think that again covers DexSwap. Anything else in terms of the at least the socials?
Nope. We're ready to move
Great.
on.
All right, awesome. So moving on then to EMP Fusion, we had a killer week, and as some of you may have seen, we reached over 26 million sacrificed into Fusion. Again, we'll talk more about that in a second. But the momentum has been off the charts. Over 155,000 EMP was sacrificed just this past week, 327K this past month, and 1.8 million in the past 3 months. So again, the flywheel is happening. We all wish that was happening faster, but remember that the more we uh, uh, remove from circulation, EMP is hella deflationary at this point, and we will hit what we call a supply shock, where there isn't enough EMP on the market for newcomers and even existing users that want to add to their position. So when that happens, it's almost guaranteed that the price will go up. We then recover peg. We then maintain peg, and now we're firing on all cylinders. The flywheel is in full effect. APR goes up. Treasury is booming, and we have amazing, amazing side effects going into the bull run without even considering a price increase on ETH itself. So really, really exciting times, and we're really not that far off from reaching the supply shock. So, Ella, you want to talk a little bit about the community initiative?
Yes. And so a couple weeks ago, there was an absolutely amazing community initiative started, I believe, by Jacques, about sacrificing 2,000 EMP per day or week, whatever really you can manage. And it's really having an incredibly beneficial effect. Like AJ said, we've had over 155K EMP sacrificed this week alone in the last week. So we are getting close to extremely, extremely exciting times. As a significant portion of EMP is being sacrificed every single week, which means we're getting closer and closer to that tipping point. So
Yeah,
we're really excited about community members really taking initiative and leading the charge because it's obviously having an incredible impact. And we love to see you guys really step up to the plate.
yeah, could not agree more, LA. Again, it's one thing for us to develop, products like the sacrifice battery, other things in the ecosystem that promote uh, sacrificing, but it's a whole nother thing when we see the community really rallying behind it without any community or without any team involvement, and that just shows the amazing, group of individuals that we have. And yeah, I mean, obviously, we're not condoning people to spend more than they can afford, but that little bit, I mean, even 100 EMP day by day, that is less EMP that will ever be available. And um, we did do some updated math. I'm hoping to release that maybe by the next AMA or sometime next week, and how much EMP is actually accounted for. Again, I think the latest number that we shared was about 85%, and it's probably more than that now. Well, I know it's more than that now, and might be much more than that. So that is really promising again in terms of the supply shock. And yeah, I mean, you can see everything on chain. We're 26 million liquid EMP sacrificed into Fusion, and again between LP, up EMP, bonds, old boardroom contracts, team or treasury holdings. We're looking really, really good in terms of how much EMP is actually available, and that will be extremely helpful in the recovery. So, all right. Also, we'll get to some alpha. Today, we released an amazing new tool created by one of our VIPs. So, shout out to John V. A lot of you may know him. He's actually a really talented developer, and this is again another community-led effort in an analytic tool that, in my opinion, is comparable, if not better, than Dune Analytics. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. LA, do you want to maybe go through some of the bullet points of what this is, and I can show it in real time?
Yes, absolutely. So shout out to John. Absolutely amazing tool he created here. It's called Fusion Watch, and it's a comprehensive tool that helps you keep track of everything going on inside Fusion. And here's a big exciting part. It includes an alarm bell for when the ETH gets released into the peg exchange battery. So I know a lot of you hate waiting around by the computer all day for the chance to use that battery. Now you can set the alarm on and it will notify you when the ETH drops. You can also view an incredible Fusion leaderboard. I know a lot of people were asking for a leaderboard. There's also stats on EMP sacrifices, EMP and e-share prices, and so much more. So it's an absolute killer tool. And if you are using it, please consider donating to John, as he's worked really hard to develop this on his own with feedback from the team and our beta testers. So you'll see there's a purple bar at the bottom of the page with his wallet address where you can donate to his efforts.
I love it, Ellie. Yeah, so hopefully you guys can see everything okay. Ellie, is it coming through all right? Again, I just want to verify because we haven't used this software before. And
Yep.
then, yeah, okay, awesome. So, yeah, everything Ellie said, again, not only is this a community-led effort, but it really helped take some pressure off of our own internal development time with everything that we have going out. So, John, again, has been an absolute rock star in all this. And shout out to all of our beta testers as well for providing amazing feedback. And we want all of you to provide feedback as well. So this will be an ongoing thing. Eventually, we'll add it a link directly to Fusion and even share some of the more relevant things on the UI of Fusion itself. But this was just a really great short-term solution that really gives a bunch of analytics again, with those that aren't familiar with looking at on-chain data, this gives it all to you in one spot. So, to Ella's point up here, you can mute or unmute the alarm that will trigger when there is ETH in the battery. Again, you see the price of EMP, price of eShare, price of ETH, EMP in circulation, eShare in circulation, and the actual peg price, the sacrifice point or sacrifice point price, and the bonus they're getting in terms of peg, still at a 6.9 roughly bonus. So, and some great tools at the bottom for charting. And then again, like Ella said, the leaderboard. This is one of my personal favorites. Something we've been trying to implement for a while. Just been one thing after another, and so hopefully this gives a little bit of competition to those that want to be on the leaderboard and see where they stand, their total microgrid value, total deposits, average deposit, and amount of sacrifices. Again, with Peg Battery, this will show who's been utilizing it the right way. And another bit of alpha, we will be running contests on this as well. So whether it's the moving up on the overall leaderboard, maybe it's the amount of people that were able to utilize the peg exchange battery most efficiently. We have a lot of really cool things that we can now do with this information all in one spot. And again, Top Guns will show you, the Hall of Fame in terms of the most sacrificed and the top gainer. So again, even if you're a minnow, maybe you can double your microgrid position in 1 week and move up the leaderboard, and
Mhm.
then we would give you a prize based on that. So I'll work with LA on these specifics, but it's pretty bullish, right, LA, to have all this in one spot?
It is. And I just want to say a huge shout out to whoever that is that's sacrificed into Fusion over 120 times, because that's gosh darn impressive. 121 times.
Yeah, totally.
That's
That,
insane. That's amazing. Whoever that
yeah,
is, shout out to you.
totally. That's the epitome of DCAing for sure. So,
Mhm.
awesome stuff. And last but not least, like I said at the bottom here, please consider donating to John. Um, Again, you can just send his wallet whether it's EMP, eShare, Stables, ETH. I'm sure you wouldn't mind. And yeah, we sent him a nice bonus last night for all the hard work. But yeah, he's a great guy. And again, out of the blue, right, LA? I mean, this was unsolicited,
Yes.
just as wanting to help the protocol, which was
Mhm.
amazing.
I just want to say that is the true definition of an EMP VIP, to take initiative to support the protocol without being asked, without expecting anything in return. That's just absolutely incredible, and huge, huge hand claps to John.
I love it. Yeah, totally. So, all right, awesome. Anything else you want me to highlight here?
I will just basically say that I know you already mentioned it, but just to show, you will have to have your volume on. And then if you're wanting to be notified when the ETH gets distributed, there'll be a noise that sounds. And if you don't want to hear it, you just toggle on that mute in the top right of that left box. And then in the bottom right box, you can see where the bonus is on your sacrifices. So AJ mentioned it's 6.88x right now as a peg bonus.
Yep, totally. And again, we'll highlight the different things and what this means. I know overall it can get a little overwhelming if you don't know what you're looking for, but as the community gets more and more familiar with this, I think a lot of people will collaborate around this info and really give a good understanding of where we are in terms of the health of Fusion. So again, amazing, amazing stuff. You know, this is thousands and thousands of dollars. If we were to go to Dune Analytics and have them, do all this work. So again, not only is it bullish for the community, but it also helps save the treasury some expenses that we can put back into Fusion itself. So again, can't thank John enough. And please, everybody, even if you can't afford to donate, please just go show him some love in the chats. So, all right, awesome. All right, LA, up next. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty, so you may have to take over the notes
No problem.
until I can stop sharing. So go ahead.
Yeah, so you can see on there, there's a 6.88x bonus on peg right now. And as I was starting to say before, we are entering such an exciting time period around EMP, because such a significant portion of the supply of EMP is already sacrificed. I mean, 26 million plus, and that's only the liquid EMP portion. There was LP, there was up EMP, there was bonds. There's so much of a significant portion of the EMP supply that's already been accounted for. And there's a significant portion being sacrificed every week, which means we're getting so much closer to that sweet spot, that tipping point. And now's the time to ask yourself, if you're going to think about things the way that an average person would, or the way that a strategic person might. And if you're going to think about things strategically, you are going to significantly benefit in the long run. So an average person may say, oh, well, peg hasn't really been moving upwards. I'll wait and see if there's upwards movement before I take any action. A strategic person would say, holy shit, there was over 155K EMP sacrificed over the last week. And we heard on last week's AMA that we're only 2-3 million away from a significant supply shock. While EMP is still low, I can score a nearly 7x bonus and up my ownership percentage to the max for as little money as possible. And when we're back at peg, I am absolutely golden. And then in that action, that strategic person actually helps themselves in a number of ways. One, by massively upping their ownership percentage and microgrid value, which is only to increase as ETH increases and as we get closer to peg. And then they're actually helping themselves and us all, as their sacrifices are helping to get to that tipping point sooner and sooner. And so I encourage all of you to think strategically. The actions you take are of your own volition. We'll never give you advice, but what I do encourage you to do is think strategically, as opposed to how an average person may think at this time. Oh, did we lose AJ? Where is he? Okay, I don't see AJ on here, so I'm going to keep going. Grover says he did a quick calculation and over 66% of EMP is in the contracts and the other known wallets. And we're looking fucking great. So I love that. Love it, love it, love it. I'm not sure where AJ went. There he is. Perfect timing. AJ? Are you muted? Nope, he's gone again. Okay. Well, while he's gone, I'm going to address one of the questions that was asked earlier, which was, will DBank and Robbie ever recognize Fusion? We did contact DBank, and we do have a close personal connection with their team, and we did kind of ask the qualifying questions for how we could get Fusion integrated with DBank and Robbie. But unfortunately, because of the way that Fusion is built and set up, it just doesn't meet the criteria. Aren't tokens with contract addresses and stuff like that, and it's very difficult for it to get integrated into DBank and Robbie because of that. Let's see. The only other thing that is on our notes for tonight is about bonds. We're aware that the bonds are coming due at the end of the month, and we will have more specific information on how to claim and retrieve your earnings as we get closer to the end of the month. There he is. AJ? Are you having technical difficulties? All right. Well, while we wait, is there any questions from anyone? Hello? Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, LA, can you hear
All
me
right.
now?
I can now, yes.
No, sorry, guys. Oh man. All right. Well, again, I thought we had all the technical difficulties ironed out, but apparently not. So,
All
all
right.
right. Hear me? Okay. Am I too low?
You're perfect. So I've done all the notes and we're moving on to questions.
Okay. Perfect.
How will the Mega Dex affect the Spark PLS vaults?
All right. Yes. There we go. Perfect. So yes, again, this will all be transitioned into V3 liquidity. So right now, Spark and PLS and all the vaults on either DexFi or providing LPs directly is rewarded with the emissions of Spark. Well, after our transition, everything will become V3, which means that you get part of the fees of the that the LP generates. So again, uh, the short answer is the yield should be pretty comparable. The actual yield on higher volume pairs will be a lot more. Again, the more volume, the more fees, therefore the more that you earn. And in some cases, it may be less than what you're getting now. But if you've built a position with Spark and have not just sold all your Spark every day, for the last year, then that is bullish because now you're able to actually earn and have a much larger position in DexSwap with a token that is non-inflationary. So again, it's hard for me to answer this fully because we just don't know the sort of volume and the sort of fees that the V3 LP will generate. But providing concentrated liquidity is extremely profitable under the right circumstances. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But regardless, it'll still be an earning opportunity.
Awesome. What is the rough ETA for the BSC Dex launch?
All right, Silverback. Yeah. So, we again, I didn't. It's not my fault this time. I can blame it on Dex CEO Jake. Because on the fireside chat, he basically said within 2 weeks, and that was like 3 weeks ago. So, obviously, we're a little bit behind. We always move forward with the best intentions, but developing and timelines are hard. I'm not gonna step on Jake's toes and give a definite deadline, but we're super close. So I would say I could probably say with certainty 100% before the end of the year, and maybe a lot sooner than we all think. So yeah, it's almost ready. But again, I don't want to. I don't want to upset the crypto gods with a definite time frame. So
It's like what they say when people are working in the hospital and someone says, "Oh wow, it's a quiet night tonight in the emergency room," and then
yeah, totally.
20-car pile up on the highway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we're making really good progress though, and we will work on getting an update as soon as possible from Jake with some more details. When will the white paper be released for DexSwap?
Yeah, so again, that is something that we're working on internally. A lot of it again will be borrowed from existing V3 LP dexes. The fundamentally, everything works just like the a fork of PancakeSwap or Uniswap would be. But yeah, we'll have some definite you know protocol specific information in the white paper, including the tokenomics behind the DexSwap token. So as far as when that will be ready, again, roughly when we are ready to launch, we are going to be launching on BSC with an MVP, like I said. So the tokenomics for the DexSwap token will probably not be published yet. So expect a white paper to follow maybe around launch or a few weeks after launch.
Amazing. How will it affect staked Spark?
Yeah, this is a great question. So again, we'll have a full breakdown of how we're going to do the crediting. But if you have gone into Sparkler and have been earning through Sparkler, number one, you're looking really good already because you are utilizing the system how it was intended, and you've been building a pulse position this whole time. As far as you know how it's going to affect Stake Spark, you will be getting credit in the DexSwap token based on your position in Sparkler. So, again, we haven't released the specifics, but the equivalent value in terms of dollar value will be very attractive for those that, again, have been uh, utilizing Sparkler as intended. And the same thing goes for the 404s on Swap, which again is a similar mechanism in terms of Sparkler and sharing yield of the platform. But remember, everything is now transitioning into the DexSwap token, so that is how we distribute yield moving forward. So again, you will be credited with an airdrop of the token itself, and then all future proceeds will go to support that token as the global token of DexSwap.
Awesome. There was a level mentioned that would get the supply shock going. How was it that we needed to get sacrificed to get it moving. I thought it was 100K that I heard. Last week, Grover did the math and had mentioned it was about $200,000 worth. And since then, we've had an additional 155K EMP sacrificed.
Amazing. Yeah, no doubt. And I think again with this new format, we can definitely bring on some guests, and I'd love to get Grover on with a breakdown of the math. But yeah, I think um based on the last thing I read in the last math I did, it was about 200K of buying pressure on EMP directly through the LPs, which is amazing because when we launched Fusion, we calculated about 400K of fresh buying pressure to get to peg. So we're at half that now, which again is proving when we say the math is unfootable, that is the point, is that, the more EMP that's burned and sacrificed over time, the easier it is to recover peg, the less capital it takes to maintain peg, and then we're off to the races. So yeah, I think again, if somebody did a market buy of 200K, then we'd be a peg. But I'll have Grover come on and give a more specific update.
And just a reminder, we have a significant amount of EMP being sacrificed at the moment. Like we've said a few times, 155K in the last week alone. Well, that doesn't mean there's not still selling pressure. So that is what affects the peg, because you have to have more buying pressure than selling pressure in order to move up in peg. And EMP sacrifices alone do not necessarily equate to buying pressure, because some of it could be sitting in people's wallets. Now, that being said, when people are selling right now, it's actually a great thing, because it means that every single day, if they're selling and other people are buying it and sacrificing it into Fusion, there's less and less and less EMP in the wallets of holders who don't intend to get involved in Fusion. And there's more and more EMP sacrificed into Fusion. So we want to get the EMP out of those wallets so that when we are at this golden utopia position where EMP is back to peg, all of the EMP is sacrificed into Fusion, those people who don't believe in the project have absolutely zero control over the future of the protocol. And that's why we built Fusion to begin with, so that the diamond handers can win. And the people who don't have the faith or the belief or the long term mindset do not have the ability to affect the rest of us. And so, if we're seeing some selling right now, it's actually a very good thing, because it means that as we get closer and closer to the supply shock, we are getting rid of all of the non believers so that we have a protocol of only really bullish people who are excited about the future of the project.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. Again, unfortunately, we're judged by the price of EMP and the performance on a chart. But like you said, when you really understand the mechanisms at play, the real metric is the amount of EMPs that is sacrificed. Because to your point, people can be selling this entire time, which makes peg go down, 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 but yet there's less and less EMP available, which again, it will happen overnight. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to recover peg overnight, but the quote unquote flippening, where there is more demand than available supply on the market, that is when again the final boss, so to speak, will be conquered, because we're only going up after that point. And even though there will be sell-offs along the way, another point Ellen made is, those swing traders that don't believe in the protocol long term, yes, they will probably sell, but number one, we want them selling at lower levels that we're at now, and number two, if they do sell, they're never able to buy back cheaper than what they sold for. And again, through all the community efforts and the treasury and the real yield, we're always funneling buying pressure on EMP, and there will be no more EMP left to sell when it's all in Fusion. And we've never really seen that mechanism play out where a deflationary asset is literally all locked. So, and again, that's when we reach what we call our ultimate goal, or utopia, where the only way to get into Fusion is by buying a microgrid from somebody else, and then all the value is given to our participants that way. Again, those of you that have been sacrificing and believing in the ecosystem and building your bags, now you are the ones that benefit the most when new users want to get involved. So it really is an amazing system. It just has to play out. So again, I know that it's frustrating for people that it may be a longer time frame than they had anticipated, but the fundamentals could not be any better.
Agreed.
Cool.
Um,
Awesome.
so another great question, is L1 Dex dead and buried now, or could there still be some future for it?
Yeah, so again, this is all part of our transitioning. So, unfortunately, and again, I don't want to get too far off topic, but the decisions made by L1X, the flat out breach of contract with us over L1 Dex, all of those things have been incredibly detrimental to both protocols, honestly. And although we're going to be fine, we're looking to build our own L1 Dex, so to speak, through DexSwap. And we feel like we can deliver everything that was promised with L1 Dex, including cross-chain, interoperability, but now doing it on our own and not relying on, the decisions of a third party. So the short answer is L1 Dex is basically becoming DexSwap, and it's our own ecosystem that we don't have to play by the rules of anybody else. So does that answer that question, LA? I don't know if you want to add to that.
I will, because I was just answering the same question for someone in the L1 Dex group. So, unfortunately, we haven't heard one single word from the L1X team in a good 4, 5, 6 months. Not one word. We had asked a lot of questions. We had asked for additional code. We had asked for additional audits, and we never received a single word in return. And so we decided to move on. I mean, we couldn't wait around forever. And it's such a blessing in disguise, because we don't have to depend on anyone else that could positively or negatively affect the results, the success, the sustainability, or the future of DexSwap. We're betting on ourselves because we know that we're a winning team, and we know that we'll do everything in our power and never give up. And when there's other teams involved, sometimes it makes things incredible, and other times it holds us back and slows us down and adds a lot of stress and frustration. And so that's not specific about anyone in particular. But that being said, we work so incredibly well, like a well-oiled machine as a team. And if we can build this ourselves, it's going to be a lot more successful if we don't have to depend on anyone else.
I love it. Absolutely. Again, taking our destiny back into our own hands. And, unfortunately, we can't really apply that to L1X as a whole. I know a lot of you, including us, both as a protocol and as individually, invested into L1X. And that's a whole separate conversation. But we can control L1 Dex. And so this is the decision that we have made to move forward. And again, hopefully, in a perfect world, the deck swap will be so successful that those that are participating, make up any potential losses they had with L1X. And what a, again, poetic justice that would be for sure, LA. So again, not financial advice, no promise of returns, purely speculating. But yeah, all right, I think that covered that.
Awesome. Will the Sparkler stake be rewarded based on Spark staked or on shares?
Yep. So again, we have a whole formula that we're working out. Most likely it will be a combination of both. But obviously we've said those that stake larger and longer get more shares, and therefore shares will probably be a little bit more heavily weighted. But again, we're also not really getting too specific because we don't want people to just come in and buy a Spark and do some things that may dilute all of you that have been doing the right thing for a year. So just bear with us. I promise that no matter what we come up with, it will be a fair solution. And again, ultimately, it's bullish because this is getting rid of the inflation, in the ecosystem completely. It's giving more bridging options. It's consolidating our marketing and development efforts. I mean, there's literally zero downside to the transition. It's just a process to do it. So hang in there, and it will be glorious. I promise. So
Yeah, and I just want to add to that question that it is calculated strategically in a way that is not gameable. So it's not that someone's going to be able to come in when we announce the launch date and buy some Spark that they're going to sacrifice for 1 week and have as much as of an advantage as someone who has been staked for the last year, year and a half. So
100%.
it's not gameable, and if even one person out there has a light bulb over their head, just know it won't work.
Yep, no doubt. And again, I mean, we've even seen some people now are going and just buying Spark, and obviously that will contribute. Just know that it's not like Ellie said, gameable. And yeah, the actual math will be released after we have taken a snapshot. That explains it all. So
Exactly. Shout out to My Journey, who is the 121 sacrifices.
I love it. Yes, we found our rock star. I know, is it Infinity?
Killer.
Yeah, that's it. 121. Awesome.
Huge shout out. Huge shout out. Oh my goodness. Christian F, will sDAI remain?
Yeah, so again, another great question. That is because we still have to bridge to Spark. I'm sorry, so we still have to bridge to Pulse with Spark, or at least with the ecosystem. Then yes, most likely SDAI will remain. Again, if we do end up launching on other chains, it will most likely be under US Dex, which again is the collateralized version of the stable token in the DEX finance ecosystem. sDAI or SparkDAI, again, was just meant to be used with SparkSwap. So the short answer is it will remain in some way. It may get merged into US DEX. And again, you would just be airdropped your holding amount. But we may still just leave sDAI because it's already established on Pulse.
Yes, and there's no need to liquidate any of your positions at this time. Obviously, um, you can keep earning until the second that things get migrated and transitioned over. When we make that announcement about that happening, and I know that particular um, farm pays out quite well, so might as well stick with it until.
Yeah, that's a great point, LA. Again, those of you that are sleeping on sDAI, with perps being paused until the merger and everything else, I think people have kind of slept on sDAI. But yeah, the farm for a stable farm is paying incredibly well. And yeah, I mean, in terms of a reliable, fully collateralized stable token on Pulse, there's really no other great option. So I would highly recommend all of you to, again, get a position in sDAI or utilize the farms to generate yield on your stables as well. But again, not financial advice. And yeah, there is absolutely no reason to start moving things around early. We'll have plenty of time to give you a heads up, and you can earn up until the last minute of the migration if and when that happens. So
Yes. sDAI Vaults, definitely my favorite one. Or sorry, not Vault, Farm is definitely my favorite one.
for
I
sure,
love it. All right, another fun fact from Grover. We love his fun facts. He said one of the predominant paper hands pretty much is all done with their wallet from over the weekend. So exactly what we were saying earlier. We love to see this because now those people are done and dusted, gone. We no longer ever have to worry about them. We get to capture that position and build our ownership. And one thing I never mentioned earlier, but part of this insanely strategic position we're in right now has to do with the ETH prices as well. While PEG is down and while ETH price is down, we are in this insane position to stack up because it would be way more expensive to do should ETH rise to $4,000, even if we're not back to PEG yet. There would still be a
for
PEG
sure,
bonus, but it would just be so much more expensive to acquire the same percentage of ownership that you're adding on. And so we're in this insane position where ETH hasn't exploded yet, PEG hasn't exploded yet, and we're in the ultimate zone that if we are strategic about things, we can set ourselves up for the future. So I'm definitely very excited to be in this spot that we're in right now. And although we all want to get to the end of the yellow brick road, being in the middle of it is pretty damn sweet if you know what you're doing also.
totally. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we've said it all along that millionaires are made in the bear markets and the accumulation phases. It could be a matter of days that we see PEG fully recover, and by then it's too late for those that are coming in, and or have been here and just haven't taken advantage of their current situation. And yeah, the beautiful thing is that even when we are in full bull run and we have recovered peg, there'll be plenty of microgrids to go around for new users to get in. And by that time, APR will be extremely attractive. And again, that flywheel that we talk about really is functioning at max capacity. So, all right, awesome.
Absolutely. Shout out to Derusik. He reminds us that you can follow the AMA both on YouTube and Twitter at the same time. Just mute one of them. And while you're on Twitter, please press that retweet button. Love
Let's
it.
go.
There's
Absolutely. I want to see.
actually
Yeah.
58 people tuning in on Twitter right now, so that's very impressive.
Amazing. Yeah. And if you are on the Twitter gang or X, make a comment under the video as well. It'll show up on stream. We've been getting a lot of engagement from YouTube. But yeah, this has been way better than trying to manage Telegram and YouTube and everything else. So, all right. Awesome.
And then for Crypto Rich, I did do a segment on this earlier in the stream. In regards to treasury bonds, we are 100% aware they're coming due at the end of this month, and we'll have more specific information on how to claim and retrieve your, not retweet. I was about to say retweet and retrieve at the same time, and retrieve your earnings as we get closer. But also, yes, you can retweet this too.
Perfect.
um, Grover says I had a look at the on-chain data, and over 95%, 95+% of the EMP being bought is being sacrificed. That's super bullish.
That is super bullish. Let me pull that up while we go on to the next one. But yeah, I that's a great metric. I didn't even think to look at that. I mean, that is proof in the pudding in terms of the momentum. So amazing.
Amazing. Shout out to Cool Sheet again for that amazing theme song that got us all amped up at the beginning of the stream. I love it. There must have been a delay in the comments because when you were off for those 2 minutes or so, there was no questions coming through. And then all of a sudden, there's like 20. I love it.
Yeah, no doubt. So sorry about that. Again, we had some technical difficulties, but we typically get our weekly questions through our Discord. So if you haven't joined the EMP Discord, please do that. That's a guaranteed way to get your questions answered. But now that we have implemented StreamYard and we have this really fancy way of displaying questions in real time, then we can go through this way as well. So if you have a question, just type it either again in the comments on X or in the comments on YouTube.
Okay, this is a cool one from Crypto Farmer. It took me reading it a few times to understand what they meant, but it says I got $1.12 for $200 sacrifice for the past months. I'm assuming that means $1.12 per EMP because of the peg bonus. What do you assume when you read that?
Yeah, so I would assume as well. I mean, I can't, maybe they can clarify, but yeah, that illustrates the, power of the peg bonus. I think, again, people don't realize that that is a built-in mechanism, and you're actually getting much more in terms of stack point value than is obvious.
Yeah, especially if you are BBEing. It's unreal.
Totally. I mean, that's another incredibly powerful metric because not only are you getting, the bonus, but now you're building your bag with the bonus. It's like it's double dipping almost, but helping the ecosystem recover at the same time. And, again, those that prioritize, we said this for 3 years straight, LA, those that prioritize the long-term gains over this immediate instant gratification that all of us in the current you know society, again, I won't get too philosophical, but we are also used to this instant gratification, and those that are able to control that and really have a long-term vision are the ones that are going to win the most in our ecosystem, and it's purposely designed that way, again, to reward those that are here for the right reason. So yeah, I couldn't get any more bullish on where we're going for sure.
And honestly, in life in general, if you have a long-term mindset over seeking instant gratification, you're most likely going to live a better life.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's so true. We won't get, like I said, too philosophical, but it aligns with our protocol and our
Values.
view, or values. There you go, 100%.
Yeah. Shout out to Tiberius. We love you. He said you guys are the most trusted team. You guys rock. Well, guess what? You rock too.
Yes, 100%. We love our emperors and empresses. So.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. Will the Megadex coin be time locked as Sparkler investments are? Great questions tonight, guys.
Yeah, totally. So, that again is something we haven't released yet. Obviously, we will make it very attractive in terms of economics, but the number one thing to realize with the mega, I love that everybody still calls it mega dex. The dex swap. Again, we're gonna have to train people to call the right thing again, but uh, is deflationary right off the bat. So again, I'm sure there's going to be a mixture of buying and burning of the DexSwap token through the yield that we generate, as well as just rewarding holders, whether it's directly as yield, or whether we just funnel all of that to buying and burning the token. Because remember, burning is really powerful, but buying and burning is what really makes the price go up. So that just continues to strengthen the floor as we move forward. So again, I'm not going to drop too much alpha, but rest assured it will be a mixture of all that I just mentioned.
I don't know, AJ. I'm half joking, half not when I say this, but I think our tagline for DexSwap should be the Mega Dex, brought to you by the EMP.Money and Dex Finance teams.
I love it. Yeah, perfect, LA. Oh man. Yeah.
The mega Dex, the only Dex you'll ever need in your life.
Yeah, totally. Well, and that's the amazing part. Again, I mean, we prioritized launching on smaller chains, but now being a multi-chain option, we can compete with the Uniswaps and the pancake swaps of crypto, which again is crazy bullish for our growth. As exactly what LA said, the one-stop shop for all your decentralized exchange needs.
Yeah,
So
I want to say just personally how excited I am about this because, I've been 3 years into crypto now, but I'm still learning a lot when I try to get involved in different chains that I haven't explored on yet. And recently, I was getting into some of our vaults on chains that I've never operated on before. And having to actively investigate what is the go-to DEX on that chain and how does it work. And I didn't realize this. I thought DEXs would be relatively similar on every chain and kind of operate in the same way. Nope, not the case. Um, I struggled for about 3 hours and felt like a moron. And I can't wait for our one DEX to do everything and never have to use a different DEX ever again. And
totally.
people that are newer to crypto, it's going to be such a breath of fresh air to learn one thing and have it work on all the chains. I mean, it's just going to be fantastic. So, if someone who's been involved in DeFi for 3 years takes 2 or 3 hours and can't figure out how to gosh darn build an LP on a different chain because there's no liquidity tab on any of the damn dexes, I mean, it's just fantastic.
I love it, Ella. Yeah, totally. And again, having it be on these better known chains such as BSC, Arbitrum, again, not to drop too much alpha, but base Ethereum, the goal is that we're operating on all the top 10 uh, EVMs at least. And yeah, I mean, that gives us the control of a better UI, a more simple option. Obviously, we're the king of zapping as well. I saw somebody in another one of my chats. They're super bullish on Titan X. They just released their farm, and they didn't have a zapping function. And one of the comments was, "Get in touch with AJ for the best zapping." I was like, that was pretty awesome.
I
So
love that.
yeah, totally. So the fact of the matter is that we know what works and what doesn't work, and how to make things really simple and easy, and ultimately that leads to a better product and a better product market fit, which then leads to more market share, which then leads to more revenue, and now we're all killing it as a group and that's been the goal all along for sure. So
Also, I want to say that SparkSwap's Dex is just so superior to every other bridging option out there on Pulse Chain. And yes, Neil, Pulse Chain will be on the Dex as we're kind of consolidating SparkSwap and Swap and some of these other things. But if you've noticed, like chain, the main bridge for Pulse Chain, or some of the other big guys like Simple Swap or Change Now, you can only bridge Pulse. We offer so many more options,
for
and
sure.
I don't think we talk about that enough because it's so much more convenient to use SparkSwap.
Yeah, no, absolutely, LA. And again, I mean, that is something that will ultimately separate us from the competitors, whether we are on, a larger chain or not. The more options, the more liquidity, the better user interface. I mean, everything that we have excelled at and proven that we can do. The security, again, that's another crazy, crazy thing that we don't get enough credit for, in my opinion. Not that I'm looking for a pat on the back, but the fact that we have been around for over 3 years with literally hundreds and hundreds of smart contracts that have never been exploited in some of the most high risk uh, fields in terms of DeFi. There is again dexes and bridges are literally the most high risk smart contracts that you can develop. And we have just been having an amazing track record, and that is because we put the due diligence, we put the effort in, and we care about protecting our communities no matter what it takes. And yeah, all of those things will absolutely play into the success of the uh, of DexFi. I almost called it Mega Dex again.
Got you there.
Yeah, totally.
Um, are we discussing at all integrating any non-EVM chains that will be supported by DexSwap?
Yeah, so again, unfortunately, it's a heavy lift to really make it compatible with outside of EVM chains, but that is definitely not to say that we can't do it. And yeah, I mean, Sui has been a hot topic. Um, I still think even though Solana is probably overhyped, I think that it still does incredibly well, at least during this cycle. So yeah, I mean, we can definitely look into non-EVM support. It's just EVM will be our first priority.
Yeah, and obviously the EVM chains will be a lot quicker to implement than the non-EVM chains.
For sure. And yeah, again, Tron is another one, Christian F. I mean, Tron is an OG chain that a lot of us got our come ups on, and again, if there's volume and we can generate fees, then we'll do everything we can to build there, no matter what that takes. So yeah, short answer is not immediately, but 100% as we continue to scale.
You guys know we have to give you an excuse to ask us when, so I'm sure there'll be
Exactly.
lots coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, totally.
Guys, you have asked some absolutely fantastic questions tonight. It's really nice to see so many questions coming through and us having a good chunk of time to dive into them. Thank you all who have put questions up tonight. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. I really, really like this new format. We're already at about triple the engagement that we get from just the YouTube and Telegram alone. So shout out to all of you on X. And yeah, I think if there are any other questions, please feel free to type them now as we wrap it up. But while we wait for that, LA, anything else you want to mention? Any words of wisdom for the week? Go ahead.
I was thinking when I was outside walking Kika earlier that I read this thing that said 10 minutes of walking outside per day um, majorly improves your brain optimization. So make sure to go out and get a walk every day, even if you feel like you don't have time and you're busy. That would be my only words of wisdom for the day. But yeah, no matter what you're going through in life right now, it has the opportunity to get so much better. So stay the course. That would be my words of wisdom for the day. But I believe we have a couple more questions.
I love it, and I agree 100%, LA. It's always great to have a little reprieve from crypto talk and just talk about how to be a better human being. I think that is really important in this space, and unfortunately, I think we're all glued to our computers, especially with the bull run coming. Just make sure you take time for yourself. Again, everybody says touch grass. At least go outside and enjoy some fresh air,
Mhm.
and keep a very healthy mindset moving forward. So,
I
all right,
like to
yeah,
think that I like to think that the EMP community is one where you come for so much more than just crypto. You come and spend time in our community to become the best version of yourself. And that's
yeah,
why we're so adamant about keeping our in groups a positive place because one negative person spewing poo poo on everyone really can affect everyone. And so we love that we have such a positive community, and all of you are such a big part of that.
yeah. I couldn't agree more, LA. And I've alluded to this in a few other AMAs. Again, not to get too off topic, but I think there's a lot of value in that. Again, with our original educational series, anybody can message LA and I one-on-one directly to have that sort of access to a team. I mean, there are so many things within the EMP ecosystem, and now DexFi and Universe Madness and everything under our umbrella that you, number one, you're not going to see in other communities, and number two, even if you did see it in other communities, you're having to pay through a paywall or hold a minimum amount of tokens, and it's really been gatekept to the whales, where our mentality from day one has just been about trying to provide better or inform better crypto users, and whether that is with our ecosystem or not, if we can get you excited about crypto in general and allow you to participate in a healthy way that isn't over investing or getting scammed with other scammers, I mean, we have done our job, and that really is what makes me excited to know how many people we potentially helped, even outside of investing or participating, just being better crypto users. So yeah, and I know you share that, right, LA?
100%. I know that not everyone is lucky enough in life to have a ton of people physically that they love and love them. Some of you may have 100 friends, and some of your closest contacts may be right here in this group. So we want to provide a space where you can come and feel good about yourself and your life and learn and grow and become a better person. And I think that's our mission every single day. And I love that that's our mission.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, a few more last minute questions from Vino. Vino, how are you, bro? Our OG. What you?
Stats
If yeah,
man.
exactly. The stats man. I was just saying, if you're my right hand man, what is Vino? I don't know. So left hand lady. I don't know. I call you a bunch of names, but anyway, yeah, we Vino says, what kind of coding background do we have now that DexFi and EMP teams have merged? I think she's based on the Move coding language. Uh, do we have someone that can do that? So yeah, I do believe you're correct. I believe it's called Move. However, it's very similar to Rust. So Tron, Sui with the Move, even Solana, all of them are mainly Rust. And if you know how to write in Solidity and Rust, then you can pretty much write in any code. So yeah, the answer is yes. We have people capable, and we have literal PhDs in computer science. So if they had to teach themselves a new coding language, they could probably do it within a week. So yeah, the issue is time more than anything. I wish we had an even bigger team in terms of development than we do now, even with 30 plus. So, no matter what we're doing, it seems like there's never enough time in the day, right, Ellie?
Mm-hmm. If only you saw the size of the to-do list this week.
Yeah, totally.
That
Exactly.
being said, I want to have a little interjection and say that we have another brand new Medium article coming out tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that, for the Honor versus Madness Medium article. And then on Thursday, we have another dedicated Honor versus Madness AMA happening after our EMP AMA. And that one's going to be a big one. We are going to be going over the full tokenomics on that AMA, and it will be your first reveal of the tokenomics for Grim Gold.
Amazing. Let's go. Super bullish. So yeah, again, another jam-packed week ahead of us, and we will cut off the questions here so we can wrap it up. Again, if you are listening to the recording or you did not have a chance to get your questions in, please join our Discord and go to the specific channel titled AMA questions, and we will answer them on the next AMA. But Silverbacked, again, another prominent community member says, can you comment on slippage competitiveness of the BSC Dex versus 1-inch PS pancake swap, etc. So yeah, that is a great point. With V3, slippage is a lot less. So this is a really good point because moving into all V3 LP and eventually even V4 LP, which again V4 is basically allowing you to add smart contracts uh, or listening events before and after a swap. And we're definitely going to be implementing that as well. But overall, V3 LP is way more efficient. So rather than having in V2 LP providing, you could have $1 million spread over the entire 0 to say, I don't know, $1,000 a token based on the market cap. So depending on how much liquidity there is, slippage can be really high because there's not enough liquidity to facilitate the trades. With V3 LP, which again, that's what the BSC Dex will have, that liquidity is way more concentrated. So what that means is, and again, I think a really good example is a stable token. So V2 liquidity, you're providing liquidity from 0 to $1, and even above $1 if it breaks peg. And so again, that may be that means maybe only 1/100th of the allocated assets are at the dollar price point. Well, with V3, you can set a range of providing a stable token LP of say 99 cents and 100, or I'm sorry, $1.01. So now your range is way tighter, which means all say $1 million of your liquidity is within that range. So slippage is essentially zero because you have all this liquidity in a very specific range. So again, I went a little bit in depth there. Sorry if that was over everybody's heads, but uh, the whole idea is that yes, with V3 we will be extremely competitive in terms of slippage, and yeah, I mean in terms of other aggregators, the more liquidity that we can build, then yeah, I mean I'm sure 1-inch and all the other Dex aggregators will definitely be using us as an option, depending on the swaps, because we have good liquidity with low price impact or slippage. So, all right, hopefully that helped.
Awesome. Well, I love it. That was such a great stream tonight. Thank you guys all for being here and asking your amazing questions. It's been so great to get so much information out about the Dex. And I just feel like it's all a sign that it's coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. Again, it's gonna be one of those things that we say it's coming, then it happens, and then people are going, "Damn, I can't believe I missed it." So, don't be that person. We're getting super close. The fundamentals are awesome, and it's only a matter of time. So, shout out to all of you for the amazing comments and engagement. Please make sure to share this on all your socials and uh, uh, comment or retweet the recordings. And yeah, on that note, we'll wrap it up. So this is our live AMA for the entire EMP ecosystem. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, and we have a very bullish AMA on Thursday for us and HVM, which is our newest protocol in the conglomerate of the EMP mothership. So, all right, LA, any final words? I know we already wrapped it up a little, but go ahead.
That's it for me. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and retweet. We appreciate all of you and all of the incredible support on all of our socials recently. And we're only going to continue amping things up from here.
All right, there you have it, everybody. Good night, good day. Much love to all of you. We will see you on Thursday.